All right, awesome. I'm going to mute everyone real quick. I don't know how to do this. I muted myself, just kidding. Oh, wait, yep. Okay, so mute. Okay, so this is like weird to me because I'm usually the one guest speaking, so, and I don't know why I'm still nervous, but okay, we'll try this. I've never done this before. So I'm going to start with the success that our team has had so far and go over that, and then Amy will take over. So far in the month, it is the 21st, so we still have like nine days left of the month, 9, 10, something like that. So we have me on the Success Club board right now at 14 points. So I have changed 7 lives, and I have 9 coaches this month. Matt has 4. That's my second CBC. So I control his business, which brings me more volume and more money, which you guys already know, right? How to do all that. Okay. And 2 coaches for him. And then we have Amanda with 1 life changed and 1 coach, and we have Alicia with 1 life changed and another coach, hopefully soon, when she signs up for that discount. So that's all I have for this. So Amy is, I'm going to unmute you, Amy. So Amy is, first and foremost, Amy has lost almost 100 freaking pounds with Beachbody. Like, that is crazy. Like, how friggin' awesome. Like, I wish I could lose 100. I mean, I will. Now, I wish, I will at some point. But, like, that is dedication, guys. Almost 100 pounds. Almost the 100-pound mark. That's what, like, 6, 7 pounds away from your goal mark? That's crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, not your goal, but at least 100 pounds lost.
Yeah.
So she's a 3-star diamond. So, Amy, how much do you cycle as a 3-star diamond?
So it really depends on volume. It depends on weeks, because we all have weeks that are a little bit lower and a little bit higher. But I, between my business center, my husband's business center, and my second business center, I'm nearing 6 figures.
That is fucking awesome. She's a Success Club legend, which means she's hit Success Club for what, at least 12 months straight, right?
24 months, but
Oh, that's legend? Okay. Yeah. Oh, All-Star is 12, right?
Yep. So
okay.
I've been a coach for a little over 4 years. And I've only missed Success Club twice in 4 years.
That's awesome. She almost makes 6 figures. This is her full-time job. And she's also a macro coach. So she also does, what is it called?
Nutrition coaching. It's flexible dieting.
Yeah. So she does that along with Beachbody too. So for that, do you kind of fit that into the meal planning? Do they still buy a challenge pack, or is that something completely different?
Yeah. So it's really, I'll kind of share this in my story, but it's really given me a second business outlet. So most millionaires have multiple businesses, multiple streams of income, and unfortunately, the containers are just not my jam. I kept eating and losing like the same 5 pounds, and I stumbled across flexible dieting, and I hired a coach for myself, which I actually still have, a macro coach. She's an IFBB pro, which basically means that she competed and she's a pro and has her pro card. But really it just allows me to offer another outlet to my clients. So what I do for them is if they order the challenge pack that includes the 3-day refresh, they get a free macro plan from me, which is like $75 that they don't have to spend. So it really works beautifully because I get to teach them my passion, and it gives them another like way of nutrition to do if they're not like in love with the containers.
Right, which is always good.
Yeah.
So when did you actually start getting successful with your Beachbody business? Like, you didn't just wake up and you were a 3-star diamond.
No. So I'll share a little bit of my story with you guys. Like I said, I started coaching 4 years ago, and I had my second son, Elijah, in March of 2013, and I'm sorry, in February 2013. And when he was born, he basically came out like a blueberry, and he was taken away from me. And we had no idea what was wrong with him. And he was about 4 or 5 days old when we found out that he had a congenital heart defect. And we were told that he would have to have open heart surgery. And it really didn't hit me in the office that day. It did. My husband like immediately started bawling, and I came home and have you ever just had like one of those moments where you finally wake up in your life? And that was my moment. And it's still very emotional for me because I can remember standing in my kitchen thinking to myself, do I have to watch this kid 24 hours a day to make sure that he's still breathing? Do I have to make sure that his heart isn't going to stop? Like, I didn't really know what the totality of his condition was then. And honestly, the 4 months that we had before heart surgery, his blood oxygen level just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And if you've ever seen a blue kid, you don't really understand. I didn't realize how blue he was until he wasn't blue anymore. And so about 4 weeks postpartum, I was 260 pounds, and it was just that moment. I am very much a person, when I decide to do something, I just do it. I don't research it. I don't take time to think about it. I woke up that morning, March 26th, and I just knew that it was time to change my life. It was time to stop the bullshit of stupid diets and starving myself and diet pills and all of those fads and things that we come across that's so easy to fall into. And I knew it was just time to change my life. And I bought Turbo Fire from an infomercial 2 years earlier. And it was like most people's P90X that you hear, like it just collected dust. I never really did anything with it. And I printed out the calendar and I hung it up on my wall, and the containers didn't exist then. So I really started my nutrition with Weight Watchers. Found a lot of success with that. And I didn't learn anything about the coaching opportunity. I didn't really have a coach to start until Pat found me in May of 2013. I found him on Instagram, and I thought he was creepy as shit. And he wanted to get on the phone with me, which made me think he was even creepier. And I don't even think it was the conversation that I had with him that really stirred my heart. But I remember sitting down with Josh on our couch the night before Elijah's surgery, and I was talking to him about this opportunity, and I really had no idea what it even meant. I didn't know that you could make money with it. Honestly, truly, in my heart, I just knew that there were other women out there like me who had to feel as lost as I did. And he looked at me and he was like, money is just money. Money comes, money goes. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And honestly, he really expected me to quit within like the first 4 weeks. I quit everything in my life. Like if I had a job, I found an excuse to quit it. And it really wasn't until July of 2013 at the launch of Focus T25 that I dug into my business. And I want to really emphasize at that point in my life, Elijah, I was very naive thinking that Elijah was going to go in and have heart surgery and he was going to come home 5 days later and life was going to return to normal. That naive, and that's not what happened at all. His surgery was very successful, but he ended up having many complications. I had to learn how to put a feeding tube in him. We had to wake up every single night and gravity feed him through a tube. He would rip out his tube like there was only a tiny little piece in between his nose and his cheek, and he would dig his finger up there, and one day he did it so many times that he started coughing up blood. And Josh and I had to give him Lovenox shots twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And he came home on so many medications that I broke down and I was like, I really don't know how to do this. So at that particular point in my life, it wasn't the greatest time to start a business, but there never is a great time to start a business. But I felt this tug on my heart that I knew that I needed to pursue this in some way, shape, or form. And so I just went about it. And the way that we did things back then is not how we do things now. You guys are so lucky. We spammed people on Instagram and that was the way of life then. But it really wasn't until November of 2013 that something clicked for me. I went from selling to building a team. And in the month of November, I think I signed 11 or 12 coaches that month. And that was really what changed my business. And I believe that January, so January 2014 is when Caroline came in to the picture. And I met Caroline through social media, and she was super hesitant to sign up as a coach. And I'm very thankful that she did, because she's absolutely incredible. And she has to be like one of the hardest workers that I know. And finding that one person, I really believe, is the honest to goodness hardest part of this business. Finding that one person to start with that believes the way that you believe, that will work at your intensity the way that you work, that is the hardest piece to the puzzle. I think it's so easy in this business to get discouraged because we see so many people becoming successful far faster than you might. So it's easy to sit back and think like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And it's easy to get into that mindset of I'm not enough. I can't do this. And I want to tell you that everybody's business is completely different. How my business looks may not be how your business looks. For me, I do not care about rank and recognition. I do not care about walking across the stage. I do not care about being elite. I do not care about any of those things. Those things are great and they'll come in time. But for me, what matters most is being a millionaire. It is more important for me to, and I'll share my why with you. First and foremost, honestly, obviously I want to help people. I really, truly want to make people feel the way that Beachbody has made me feel. These last 4 years, losing nearly 100 pounds has been an incredible journey. But really being able to connect with other women who tell me things like my sex life is better, my relationship is better, I feel better about myself, that is incredible. Or watching them, like I had a client today who was like, I binge on chips, and I know if I buy chips and I bring them home, that whole entire bag is going to be gone. And when I was in the grocery store today, I picked them up and I had this momentary thought of you and I put them right back. And to me, that is such a huge win, because not buying trigger foods is really, really hard. And so we have the privilege of choosing a profession where we really honor people and we get to love people. And that's what this business is more about to me than anything else, is love. The second part of my why is Josh and I grew up very poor. He grew up in the projects. My parents are barely high school educated. My father was a cabinet maker. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And we didn't have much. We were on food stamps. My mother would stand in food bank lines. My dad would get laid off every single year before Christmas. We just didn't have a lot. They robbed Peter to pay Paul, and that was their whole entire life. And so for Josh and I, it is very, very important that we leave a financial legacy for our kids, that we can give them opportunity throughout their life. Things like, I have a daughter now, and I paid for my wedding dress. I don't want her to have to do that. I don't want my children to be so enslaved in student loan debt like I am. I want to be able to give them opportunity and gift that to them, because their dad and their mom worked very hard. And honestly, I love my husband so much that I want to be able to live the rest of my days with him and not wait until I'm 60 years old to do it. I want to go and do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I don't want to have anybody tell me that I can or can't do it. And so to me, that's why the money is far more important to me than rank and recognition. So again, your business is just going to look completely different than somebody else's. The way that you run it, the way that you manage it, the way that you mentor people is going to be completely different than anybody else. And that's okay. You have to decide that what we do is so special. It's so special. And what really turned me on to that, and how incredible our profession as network marketers are, was GoPro. I went last fall to my first GoPro, and everyone was like making this huge big deal out of Tony Robbins. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who cares? His voice is super annoying. Like, I don't understand why you're freaking out. And it changed my life. I walked out like a crying, sobbing baby. And I really learned at that event, and it was funny today. I was talking to Pat, and I was driving, so I was sending him voice text, and he was like, I haven't heard your voice in so long. And I was like talking about our profession, because this is my profession. I am a lifer when it comes to network marketing. I'm a lifer when it comes to Beachbody. I will ride the highs and lows of this company for the rest of my life. I will never go anywhere else. You can see a carrot on a stick everywhere else, and every other network marketing that's new that will come up is gonna look better. But you grow where you plant yourself, and where you plant your seeds and where you love people hard enough is where income will come. And so really when I found Caroline is when my business started to change. But my love in this business, and what I really want to talk to you tonight about, is the aspect of inviting and selling. I come from a sales background. I love sales. It is the shit to me. I get like a high off of it. It's really weird. And so I just love sales in general. And so I want to hopefully give you some tips tonight about things that I do that have helped me earn 20, 30 Success Club points a month. And first, it's your attitude. I really believe it is your attitude and how you look at Success Club, how you look at inviting. I will admit to you that I hate it. I hate inviting. It is the worst vital behavior on the face of the planet. If I could not do inviting, I would, but that is how we make money. And to me, money is most important because I want to feed my children. And so how I look at inviting first and foremost is this. I believe that you have to have a vision for inviting, in the sense of, are you looking at inviting as a chore, like feeding the dog? Or are you looking at inviting as love? So when I talk to my coaches about inviting, I ask them specifically, how many people did you decide to love today? Because when I decide not to invite, when I decide to not love somebody, I'm deciding to be selfish and hold this in for myself, and that's not cool. And so when I think about it that way, that it's an act of love, it changes my perspective on what inviting really is. And so if you can shift your mindset from chore to love, it's going to change how you feel about it in your heart. How you speak in your invite is going to change, because when it becomes all about that love, and I know I'm going to repeat myself 8 million times and say love a lot, but when you love people enough, you will become a millionaire. Like it is inevitable. That's the beauty of our business, is that you love enough people, you're going to make a lot of money. And so I really encourage you to change your perspective, to change your mindset on this piece that's so hard. Because when we invite, we have the fear of rejection. We have the fear of somebody saying no. We have the fear of somebody telling us something really nasty. And let me tell you, I have heard everything in 4 years when it comes to inviting. Every excuse. I posted about this on social media. Somebody told me that I need to be more humble, and that my parents clearly did not teach me correctly growing up. I have been criticized. I have been, people have been assholes to me over the last 4 years. And let me tell you what, I don't give two shits. Why? Because at the end of the day, I don't really care what they think about me. They don't really know me. And clearly they haven't followed me on social media for long enough, because if they did, they would really truly know where my heart is. And it has nothing to do necessarily like with the paycheck. I genuinely really want to help them. But that's not who I am. And so when somebody says something mean to you, or they tell you no, it's because of fear. No comes straight and directly from fear. And I want to ask you this question tonight. How many times did you tell your coach no? How many times did you say, I'm not ready right now, or please stop fucking messaging me, like I can't stand you? Yeah, like you said no so many times until one day you woke up and you had that moment. It's that moment that I was talking about, that I woke up and I started to live, because I wasn't living really. And there are so many women out there, so many people out there who were just like me. I'm not kidding you. I would get the large Debbie, like little Debbie fudge rounds, not the small ones. I went big, the big box, and a gallon of milk every couple of days. I literally was killing myself with food. My marriage was falling apart. I had no idea who I was. I had no idea what I was doing with my life or who I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was 26 years old. I literally was so lost. And there are I can't even tell you how many people there are in our world just living within a 15-mile radius of you who are lost, broken, confused, and have no hope. And to me, what we do, we are dealers of hope. We give people that, like, that connection of value and that they have worth. I didn't feel like I had worth. I never felt like I deserved anything. Honestly, I'm being very true. I'm a college dropout. It took me 10 years to graduate from college. I fucked up college probably worse than you did, and I have so much debt because of it. And so I felt like nothing. And there are so many women out there who feel like nothing. And while they may tell you no over and over and over again, it's because they're afraid that they're just going to fail again. They're afraid that they're not going to be enough. And so you have to keep trying, because if you stop trying, then that means that you're letting go of them and what you know and can believe that their potential is and can be and who they were created to be. And so you have to dig beyond that. And that takes personal development. That takes the confidence inside of yourself of who you were created to be, the things that you were created to offer people. And you do have things that are innate to you that were meant for the specific people that you're coming in contact with. My prayer is the same prayer every single morning, and it has been for the last 4 years. God, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm a screw up, but I want this business to work. And I know that there are women out there who need me, and I need too. And so I need you to bring those people to me. And he does. And he's always faithful. And whether you believe in God or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But it's the universe. Like, if you are confident about who you are and you declare that every single morning through affirmation, those people are going to come to you, and you won't ever have to worry a day in your life about whether you are meant to do something like this, because you are. If you had that tug in your inside of your stomach like I did, not knowing a damn thing about what you were doing, but knowing that you just had to do it, then that means you are meant to be here. You have purpose here. And so you just have to believe that. So that's the second part of inviting. The second part of earning money, the second part of building a business is having that belief inside of yourself and growing that belief. And that takes time. It took me years of Pat literally like beating anxiety out of me to not, like, if you meet me in person, I'm the most awkward, weird human being. I'm socially awkward, and I'll give you an example. So we were at Summit, and I'm not used to like a ton of attention. And I had like so many people coming up to me, and they're like, "You look so good, blah, 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 like, congratulations." And there was someone that came in and introduced himself to me in a bar, and I was so nervous that she was like, "It's so nice to meet you." I'm like, "Okay, thanks, bye." Like, I just had no idea what to say. And so I'm very socially awkward, but I make this business work because there's socially awkward people out there who are my tribe, who get it, who understand me, who are like me. And so it comes from that belief, that confidence in who you are, and that you have very specific things that God instilled in you upon birth that you were meant to do in this world. And those people who are coming to you through law of attraction, you're meant to use those gifts that you have for them. So that's my second piece, is belief. And my third piece is just do work. So Pat asked me the other day, this is my mantra. I'm very much a tough love coach. I will encourage you. I will motivate you. I will inspire you. I will love you. But at the end of the day, when you need a kick in the ass, I'm going to tell you the truth. And he asked me, he was like, "What do you do when you just fall down and you don't know how to get back up?" And I'm like, you just fucking do it. Like, and that's what I said. I was like, you just do it. You get back up and you do the work. And honestly, that's how I've had so much success with my physical transformation, is I don't make excuses. I wake up every single morning at 4:15 in the morning. People think I'm crazy. 4:15 in the morning, I shoot out of bed. I go get dressed. I drink my pre-workout and whatever, and I go to the gym and I get it done every single morning. Without excuse, I hit my macros, my diet every single day without excuse. And that's where success comes from. And that's the really hard part to learn, is you will hear people like vomit all over you, like consistency and discipline. You just got to be consistent. Well, it's the truth. It's the shits, but it's the truth. Like, that's the really hard part about building this business, is that you have to have a why that is so sustainable that you would be willing to run into a burning building for it. I would run into a burning building for my babies any single day. And so, am I perfect at the business? Absolutely not. Like, there are days I just don't feel like doing it, and I don't do it. But ultimately, if I think back to the first 8, 9, 10 months of my business and what I did, I was consistent every single day. I was on the phone every single day. And that is another big piece of advice for you when it comes to inviting. Get on the phone. People cannot ignore you when you're on the phone. And so it takes a little bit of time to like kind of get over that fear of wanting to puke all over yourself from getting on the phone. But I'm telling you, if you are brave enough to get on the phone and just talk to people about whether they want to lose weight or they have health and fitness goals or they want to pursue the business, I'm telling you, you will close those calls 95% of the time far better than just like typing online all the time. And so that's what I did. I got on the phone a lot. And I just talked to people. I met them exactly where they were. I shared my story authentically with them, and the ugly parts of my story. And I think that's the thing that I commend Cassie for all the time. Like, I love reading her posts. Like, I was reading her post about like her whole sexcapade or whatever, like her kid walking in. I'm like, I totally get you. Like, that's my life. And so, I'm losing my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying.
I got a question, actually. Also, if anyone else has questions for her or you want her to answer anything, even if it's the same question you've asked 15 different other people, it's always good to hear it from someone else's perspective. So don't be afraid to ask whatever question you want to ask for her. But so what was the difference between when you first started? How was handling rejection versus now? Do you know what I mean? How do you handle it? Like, you handle it better? Were you discouraged at first when you heard the word no, or people just wouldn't answer your messages? How'd you handle it before versus now?
I think when I first started, a huge piece to my disciplining my disappointment came from Pat. That was a huge gift that he gave me, was learning how to discipline my disappointment in life in general. But I remember very specifically many times, like 2 times being on vacation and having coaches quit, and I would just cry, and I was so disappointed. But you have to realize at the end of the day that it's not about you. It's about them. The rejection isn't personal. It's not them being like, I hate you, you're horrible, like, why would you ever ask me something like this? It has everything to do with their internal disbelief in themselves. And so then, yes, I definitely did get discouraged, but it's like growing thick skin. It's, evolving over time. That when somebody rejects me now, I'm like, okay, cool, bro. Like, I'll see you later. I'll follow up with you in a month, and I'm going to get you to say yes to me one way or the other. Like, that's the attitude that I've developed now. Is I went from like, oh man, like that really sucks. And I would just kind of like cry about it and like never talk to them again because I was so afraid, to now where I'm like, I'm going to get you one day. Like, you will be on my team. You will be a client of mine. Like, I'm going to dig so deep into that heart of yours that I'm going to figure out what it is that makes you tick, that I will get you one day. And it just takes time. Everybody's different. I have people that say yes right away, and I have people who tell me no for like over 12 months. So
I said no to Ashley for a year.
Yeah, a lot of my coaches. Caroline said no to me for a while. A bunch of my coaches actually said no to me for a while. And it's really funny because everybody comes back and they're like, oh, I'm so stupid. I wish that I would have said yes so much sooner. And I'm like, I tried to tell you. This is the best thing ever. But it's all in perfect timing, honestly. The time in my life that Pat came into my life really was a blessing in disguise. I mean, I remember sitting in the cardiac intensive care unit waiting for Elijah to come out from surgery, and I barely knew Pat. Like, we didn't have the relationship that we do now. And he texted me, and he asked me if I was okay. He asked me if I needed anything, and I barely knew the dude. And so that spoke volumes to me. And so everything in this business, it takes patience, which it took me a long time to develop patience because I'm the most impatient person ever. I want everything 5 days ago. But I think that's the beauty of this business, is that really, truly, at the end of the day, if you give it a chance and you allow yourself to stop the layers, like we all have layers on top of our vulnerability. And if we piece by piece, like break away those layers one at a time, and we're patient with this business, we're patient with ourselves, and we understand that this is not a temporary get rich quick kind of thing, that we are a lifer, and you instill that presence inside of yourself, that belief inside of yourself that you are a lifer in this business, you'll grow and you'll evolve over time. And there's so many pieces to this business that have been a gift to me far beyond just a paycheck, really. When I tell you that I suffered from anxiety and panic attacks, like I would go into the store with no one there, and I would have a panic attack for no reason. And it was horrible. And I remember days where I would like have a Zoom call with Pat and would wake up that morning with an anxiety attack and be like, sorry, dude, I can't talk today. I had an anxiety attack. He was like, no, you're getting on Zoom with me. Like, you're not going to do this. And so he has been just in general such a huge gift in my life. And I think that is one of the most beautiful pieces to this business, to Beachbody in particular, is I think, I'm sure that other people would argue me, but I have a very strong belief that who we are as a company, I will never go anywhere else, solely because, one, we make products that are the best in the fitness industry. I don't care. Nobody can argue me on that. And they are designed with such integrity, and our CEO and people at corporate really, really care about us. But more than that, we have people on our team that care about us, that genuinely want to know about your life, how you're doing, how your husband is, how your kids are. I have so many people who still come to me about Elijah because it's been a struggle for 4 years with him. Every day it's a struggle. And I have the privilege of just being encouraged by them all the time, and they lift me up and they make me a better person. And this business will make you a better person if you let it, and you're patient and you give it time, and know that all of these pieces, there's not, some secret to success in a box that people don't let out and tell you. It's about you deciding to become your own leader and not depending on your upline to give you everything that you need to in order to walk. You learn to walk on your own through practice, trial and error, and failing a lot. While yes, I've been mentored by Pat, I have never ever expected him to do the work for me. I've never expected him to make me successful. I made me successful, and he was just a huge advocate of doing so. And so you really just have to develop that belief in yourself, the belief in this company. Like, I'd be dead or near death, I'm sure, eating myself into a deep sleep if I wouldn't have come across this company. And I'm being very serious about that I was drowning myself in food. And there are so many people out there who are doing the exact same thing. And it brings me to like my last note, that with inviting, with making money, with being successful in this business, I think the greatest piece to that is being proof of product. No one gives two shits about what you sell. No one does. Like, you can scroll Facebook all day long and see network marketer after network marketer, and no one cares. I don't care about you, like people adding me to groups, or like, I don't want to buy your dip because it's not going to change my life. People care about what you're doing and what kind of coach you are. So ask yourself that tonight. Like, if you're not having success in the business, what kind of coach are you being every day? How are you waking up every single morning? Are you being proof that what we sell works? Or are you just making excuses? Are you waking up every single day and doing whatever you can do to change your life? Because you can only bring people into your life as you make yourself better. The more that you grow, and I can prove this to you in numbers in an Excel sheet, I'm very serious. The moment that I decided to start really digging into personal development and growing myself inside, my paycheck increased. So you really have to figure out what it is that's going to make you stick to a nutrition plan. Like I told you before, the containers just don't work for me, and that's totally fine. But I found something that is life sustainable for me, that I'm so passionate about, that I literally am dead on perfect about every single day because I love it that much. And so you have to find what works for you, but above all, you have to show people what's possible. And I share this with my team all the time. Our business is kind of like a ladder. So if you've ever seen somebody push a ladder on the side of a house and they climb up it, right? It's steep, it looks scary, you don't want to go to the roof. But we have to climb that ladder first and go to the rooftop first in order for people to have the courage and the motivation to do it themselves. And so if you're not sticking to a program or being proof of the product, you absolutely have to do that.
Wow. Oh, okay, I am unmuted. Awesome. Well, there's only a minute and 38 seconds left because I don't have the paid version. But real quick, does anyone have any questions for Amy that she can answer in a minute and 30 seconds?
If not, you can message me too.
Yeah. Anyone? Going once, going 3 seconds ago? All right. Well, Amy, that was literally amazing. Like, you spoke mountains to me, and I'm sure you spoke mountains to everyone else here. Thank you so much for being on this call. You're such a gem, and I love you. But yeah, thank you so much for being on this call. It was definitely an eye-opener, and you said some pretty friggin' amazing shit. So thanks again, and the Zoom is about to end, so bye, guys.
Bye, guys.